Hey folks, Real Honesty with Jar Mifflin. I'm Jar Mifflin, and Wrestle Kingdom 12 with their big hyped card, the Super Bowl of Japanese wrestling, is over and in the books. Christ, I'm tired, and I'm sure a lot of you people are that are probably watching this review. First off, I want to say this, the Tokyo Dome, a lot of rich history there. Really great to see about 35,000 people, really making a shit ton of noise. I mean, it was great. And with the amount of matches they hyped for this card, I was really, really impressed. I've seen other Wrestle Kingdoms before. This is the first one I got to see live. And I was really, really impressed with it. I am a casual fan of New Japan Pro Wrestling. So I do want to say that if I screw up any of these names, forgive me. I've never been that good with Japanese names. Even though guys like Great Muta, Jushin Thunder Liger, Yuji Nagata, I believe, and Masahiro Chono got me into Japanese wrestling. But I do want to say that if I screw up any of these names, I apologize. Let's take it easy, and hey, thanks to everybody that, whether you followed me or didn't follow me on Twitter, for interacting with me during Wrestle Kingdom 12, and I really appreciate any of the tidbits and any of the questions that people answered for me, just about any talents that I wasn't too sure of. So I really do appreciate that. So anyway, let's get on with the review, and I may not be super detailed with some of these. And again, if I mess up a couple things, just forgive me. It's about 5:30 a.m. and I'm a little bit tired, but I wanted to get this out of the way, mainly because I'm just fired up because of how great this event truly was. So, yeah, New Japan Rumble on the pre-show, and that was great. You had Bushi, Kitamura, a huge guy. I mean, huge. Like, the amount of muscles he had. I don't know if they drug test in Japan, but maybe it's all natural. I don't know, but that's a little scary. Delirious. It was cool to see Delirious there. Then Yakana Nishi. Forgive me for that. Chase Owens had a really good run. Yuji Nagata, it was great to see him there. I mean, given how long he's been wrestling, it was really nice. But Chase Owens had a really good run also. Taka Michinoku really should have been used better in WWE. And yes, I do remember him from WWE. I know he's done very well in Japan since going back there. And that's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. I just wish that the U.S. that U.S. wrestling companies had used him better, because Taka Michinoku, world-class athlete back then and even now, even with any injuries and mileage that he's had. El Desperado, Kanemaru, Tiger Mask. It was cool to see Tiger Mask. I popped huge when Jushin Thunder Liger came into the Rumble. I was like, oh my god, because he's in my top 5 of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I think he's, if I remember right, I think he's number 4. He's number 5 or number 4, but he like I said, the few people I said that got me into wrestling. Actually, Liger was, I remember, the first Japanese wrestler I saw, because I had a buddy that used to hand me tapes that his uncle taped from Japan, and I was just blown away by Liger. He was a real life superhero as far as I was concerned. And the guy's still wrestling incredibly well into his 50s. I know that he's going to be calling it a career pretty soon. I think maybe even possibly by next year, maybe by 2020. I don't quite remember when he said he was going to hang it up, but hey, one of the greatest of all time. And he, did the job here. He had a couple really good moments, but did get eliminated pretty quickly. And you had Juicy Gino Gambino, who, big guy, pretty big, damn big guy. Leo Hinare, I believe is what I wrote down. Forgive me, I wrote these down. I probably should have wrote how they sounded. Yoshihashi, really over. David Finlay, Fit Finlay's son. It was really nice to see him being featured well. Yuji Euro, Cheeseburger. Boy, Cheeseburger got a huge pop. Kojima, not of the Hideo Kojima fame. Tenzan and Kakihara, and it was really nice to see Kakihara there. He beat cancer and he managed to win this match. And I think it was a nice little, I think it was a nice little way for him to get, you know, this big moment. I mean, granted, it was before the main show went on, but fans got to see him. He beat cancer. Not a lot of people get to do that, so that was really, 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 really cool. I read up a little bit on the guy, and just simply for the fact that he beat cancer, won the match, that was great. But given the, you know, loaded roster that New Japan has, they were able to chuck out a, throw out a good amount of people here, and it was really, really nice. It was a really good way to kick it off, and then of course it went dark for a bit while they set up for the main show. Brilliant video packages to open up the show. Brilliant. Everybody, you know, there at New Japan, NJPW worked really, really hard. You could tell that they, you know, put their heart and soul into this. Obviously, it's their big event, the way to kick off 2018 right. Let me tell you right now, this is a way to kick off 2018 right. I mean, this was a great show. There were some matches that were and I'm gonna get to that. You got, let's see, Roppongi 3K, at least I hope I pronounced that right, versus the Young Bucks. It was an IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship match, and I'm not a fan of the Young Bucks. I'm not. I don't. If you guys are, cool, that's great. That's fine. I'm certainly not going to say they're not good to their fans. I'm not going to say they don't work hard. I'm not a fan of the flippy, you know, super kick shit or the Meltzer driver or whatever the hell they call that thing. It seemed like both, you know, it's like Yo and Matt had bad backs, so I hope that they're both okay. I seriously do hope that they're okay, because they landed pretty damn hard, and they were either selling them really well or they were really hurt. So I hope to God that they aren't actually legit hurt. You know, besides maybe some bruises, because you're going to get that in wrestling. Young Bucks managed to become 7-time IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. Cool, okay, whatever. I mean, I'm not a fan of the Young Bucks. I'm just not. But the crowd popped pretty big for it. I think this match went on a little bit too long. You could have probably cut out about 3 to 5 minutes of it, and then it would have been fine. But hey, everybody got through it. Hopefully, Matt and Yo, their backs are okay. And let's move on from that. And this was the loaded, never open weight 6-man tag team championship gauntlet match. It was Taichi, Zack Sabre Jr., and Takashi versus Juice Robinson, former CJ Parker from NXT. And let me tell you right now, he has gone past all that. He has done so much better in Japan. So proud of the guy. Super talented, super great guy seemingly, and he's worked hard. He has gotten so much better. Finally able to show his damn skills. But anyway, he teamed with Taguchi, I'm just going to say that, and Togi. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the last names. I'm terrible at pronouncing that. And they faced Michael Elgin, Elgin, I always screw that up, and War Machine. Two big guys. Elgin's kind of, you know, had some, he has shown himself not to be the best guy, so Twitter wasn't very kind to him, but I don't blame them, especially since, again, he doesn't seem to be the best guy. But then you had Bad Luck Fale, Tamatonga, and Loatonga, I assume that's how I wrote it down, versus Beretta, Ishii, and Yano. And Ishii, hugely over. Great to see Beretta, you know, who's Trent Beretta in WWE and on the independents. Beretta's done very, very well. Really happy for him. Guy's a really hard worker and a really, really solid worker. Really, really just good, solid worker. Anyway, so, okay, there's all that. And also El Desperado, Taka, and Yoshinobu. And you had Elgin and War Machine. Forgive me, I'm flipping my notes over. You had Elgin and War Machine start out versus Suzuki Gun, and that was Zack Sabre's team. Elgin and War Machine were gone quickly, and then Suzuki Gun were gone second. Their interference backfired. And then Juice Robinson has really, again, done so well in Japan. I'm really happy for him. Taguchi Japan, Juice Robinson's team, gone quickly. Tamatonga is massive. I can see why people really, really like him. And Haku has done very well training his sons. Tama has certainly done well creating his own niche and everything. Ishii is great. I remember watching a match with him and Shibata. And I'm glad that Shibata is okay as far as his health. I mean, I know he'll never wrestle again, but I'm just glad he was able to get in the ring and get the adulation of a crowd, even though he wasn't able to wrestle again. I mean, obviously not on this show, but on a show last year. I forget the exact show, but I did see that particular portion, and it was really, really nice because wrestling's a tough business. Unfortunately, he was not killed, because that would have been just out now frightening. But yeah, Shibata and Ishii just chopping and hammering each other and everything. But anyway, Ishii did great. He did very well. Chaos, Beretta, Ishii, and Yano actually won the championships. Beat the Tongas and Vale, which was really, really nice. I was actually really surprised. He had 5 championships change hands in the first 5 title matches. I mean, that's pretty damn cool. Pretty damn cool stuff. So really, really nice. A bit messy. I mean, this is where, like, with 2 of the first 3 matches were like all loaded. I mean, granted, a Rumble match, you're going to expect that, but this was really loaded with a lot of guys. I mean, and it was cool, but it really was loaded with a lot of guys. Eliminations came fast and furious and this kind of stuff, and I didn't mind this match, but the pay-per-view really picked up after this. Cody Rhodes, now with bleached blonde hair and everything. Cody, or it's like, well, actually he's just Cody, but I'm going to call him Cody Rhodes on this because he's Dusty Rhodes' son, and WWE's, even though I watch WWE, I do watch it, WWE are garbage people for not letting him have the Rhodes name because he's Cody fucking Rhodes. He's Dusty's son. And it's ridiculous that they don't let him have that name. Anyway, it's Cody versus Kota Ibushi. Kota Ibushi. Cody Ibushi is what they should fuse and become next. Anyway, Brandy, of course, it's like if you don't recognize the Cody, he's like a great talent, you're all marks, like or something like that she said during her entrance. Brandy and Cody are just perfect. Brandy is perfect in this valet role. I mean, I've seen her try to wrestle. I don't know if she's necessarily that good. I mean, I hope she's gotten better than she got from a recent clip that I saw of her. But her and Cody are a perfect act here. They're doing well. The perfect heel team. Huge pop for Kota. My God. Kota made the right decision. I want to say this. I did watch a Cruiserweight Classic, a WWE Cruiserweight Classic. Kota Ibushi delivered some grand performances. I was able to then go back on YouTube and see some of his matches that he did before the Cruiserweight Classic. I was able to check those out sometime last year. And then I was able to see a couple other things that he's done. Okay, yeah, the blow-up doll thing I'm not necessarily a fan of, but there's no denying that Kota Ibushi is an incredible talent. Super over with fans, obviously, but just picture perfect. The triangle moonsault, the moves that he hits, the knees, the kicks, the way he sells, his agility. The guy, he's one of those that reminds me where he's so good that he can almost coast. And may not even realize that he's coasting, but just that he's so damn good. But with this, Cody and Brandy worked really, really well. They, tricked, Kota thinking that he accidentally knocked out Brandy, and he didn't. And there was one spot in particular. I mean, it was great pacing and everything. And this is with no title on the line. It was almost just pride. But there was a crossroads off the apron onto the ramp, and I'm like, I mean, and I'm watching this on my computer with my headphones in so I don't wake anybody else up. But it's like I'm watching, I'm just like, oh. I was like, is Kota okay? Is Cody okay? But is Kota okay? Yeah, I mean, that spot was incredible. That's one of the spots of the night. This may have been, it was one of the best matches on the show easily. It could be in top 10, top 15 of matches of the year across all promotions. They really delivered one hell of a damn match. And just bravo to the guys. Kota, of course, got the win. The announcers were questioning, where does Cody go from here? It's Kevin Kelly and Don Callis as the English commentary. I would have listened to the Japanese commentary, but sorry, I don't understand Japanese, and I kind of want at least a little insight. So I like that Kevin Kelly and Don Callis did the commentary. They did very well, I thought. I don't have any issue with Kevin Kelly. I know some people do, and that's fine. I like Don Callis. Don Callis, really good heel commentator, but also you can tell really appreciates the sport of wrestling. And since Kevin Kelly actually knows about wrestling, naturally WWE couldn't really use him. They had to, anyway, but I'll leave that alone. Him and Nigel McGuinness did great in Ring of Honor and actually really add a lot of spice to that. But anyway, Coda and Cody really delivered one hell of a match. Bravo to them, and that. Thank God both are okay after that crossroads spot off the apron. And then you had Evil and Sonata. Sonata, who was not used well in Impact Wrestling, big shock. So it's Evil and Sonata, IWGP Tag Team Championship match versus the Killer Elite Squad, which is Davey Boy Smith Jr., and Lance Archer, who was Lance Hoyt in Impact Wrestling, and Vance Archer in WWE. And I was really impressed with this. I'd only seen a little bit of their Japan stuff. Davey Boy Jr. and Archer. And I knew they both could go. You know, Killer Elite Squad and everything. I knew they could go. And they attack Evil and Sonata like right off the bat and almost get the win. And then of course they're beating up the ringside attendants and everything, which I thought was really, really fine and a really good way to do, you know, the heel aspect of it and everything, just drive that up. Evil Sonata fought from underneath and eventually won the titles, and that was really, really good. It was a good tag team match. It was probably the best tag team match on the show. Honestly, I mean, it was, because even though the Gauntlet match was good, it was better than the Young Bucks, match, which at least they sold. And again, at least I hope Matt's back is okay. I'm going to try to be kind of kind when it comes to the Young Bucks, because I've ranted about, if you want to know my opinion about the Young Bucks, check out my other videos. I did an unpopular opinion show about the Young Bucks, and you can find out my true opinions. I'm going to try to be nice here because it is what it is, and it's a new year. But this probably was the best tag team match of the evening, easily, at least in my opinion. And it was just really good because they started off hot, and they kept with the whole thing of, like, you know, Evil and Sonata. The weird thing, a guy named Evil being a babyface. I mean, that's why Japanese wrestling is great, because they can, you know, have these characters, this cast of characters, and great wrestlers. They can be heels and stuff like that, and it's great stuff. So anyway, then you go with, so they became IWGP Tag Team Champions, and then you had Suzuki and Goto. It was a never openweight championship, loser haircut, and no seconds death match, meaning that there could be no people at ringside and everything to help them, and whoever lost would have to shave their head. And Suzuki already has head partly shaved, but he was a champion, and Goto wanted to get it and put his own hair on the line and everything, and this was just beating the chest and beating the chest and beating the chest and beating the chest. It was incredibly hardworking. I was really, really impressed with it. I was really impressed that nobody died during this, because they hit each other hard. It was hard and impactful. Suzuki, for his age, moved really, really well. Goto did get the win. It was just hard hitting from bell to bell. I would highly, highly recommend that you guys watch this. I mean, I would highly recommend you guys watch this. Forgive me here. Anyway, I would highly recommend you guys watch this, because it just was really, really incredible. Just watching these two guys just beat the blood and piss out of each other. And then Suzuki lost, and in true honor, Suzuki Gun got his got him away, but then he came back and used his own chair and sat down, shaved his own head, mostly. Because he's like, I lost, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it myself. I'm not going to give you the satisfaction, Goto, of doing this. And it was really nice. It was really good stuff. I really enjoyed this. I thought it was a really good, hard-hitting match, and showed the, tough style, the toughness of a lot of Japanese wrestlers. It was really, really good. And then we go to Hiroma Takahashi. Of course, Daryl was there in a mask, so you didn't know it was him, and he handed him off to an announcer. Daryl, the stuffed cat, of course, that Hiroma had, or Hiroma. I mean, bottom line is the stuffed cat's more over than a lot of people in WWE, and that's what's really cool. Marty Skrull, the villain, Kushida, and Will Ospreay. It was an IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship match. Marty had wings in his entrance, and that was really, really really cool. He had a really flashy entrance and everything. It was fast paced, a lot of hard kicks and clotheslines. Of course, Daryl gave Hiromu, a second life or whatever, and it's like he got away from all the tape and everything and almost got the win. But then Will Ospreay was telling the story about how Ospreay could not beat Marty. Just couldn't beat him. Just for whatever reason, couldn't beat him when it really, really mattered, and was finally able to. And Will Ospreay is the new IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. And really, that was about the best way they could go with it. It was just really, really incredible. The pacing. I mean, it wasn't the best match ever, but it was certainly great. And Marty, lived up to the name of the villain. Great stuff. I really enjoyed it. I liked what I saw. I really, really, really liked what I saw. Everybody performed well here. Certainly no complaints. Great match. And then we had Tanahashi versus the Jay White, the Switchblade. IWGP Intercontinental Championship match. It was Experience versus you. Tanahashi, it's hard to believe he's 41. He has had some injuries. The announcers, they keep selling, and talking about Tanahashi's past injuries. I saw some people down on this match because of the placement on the card, and they thought that maybe it wasn't all that great and everything, and I liked it. I thought it was really good psychology of both men focusing on each other's knees, and it was actually the first successful title defense of the night. Tanahashi was able to overcome everything and finally get the win. And I think Jay White did fine. I think he did fine. I think he proved that he's going to be here to stay, whether it's going to be in Japan or whether he goes to Ring of Honor, wherever he goes in wrestling. He is somebody that you can invest in. Was he ready to win the title here? No, this was probably the one that was a lock for the title to not change. And Tanahashi should have kept it. And I certainly wouldn't say that Tanahashi, losing here would have been the worst thing in the world. But it's a good thing he didn't, because Jay wasn't ready yet. But Tanahashi did get the win. Really nice match. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it better than other people did. That's just me. But Tanahashi has been one of my favorites for a while. It was a really good match. It was a really, really good match. And now we get to Chris Jericho versus Kenny Omega. Alpha versus Omega. This was great. This was great. And I can only shoot about 33 minutes on my phone, so I may rush through a couple things here, but Jericho brought the light up jacket back that he had in WWE, and one of Fozzie's songs was his theme song to the ring. I didn't catch what the name was. Sorry, it was really cool though, and the crowd was hot for Jericho, even though he was a heel. Omega reminded me like he was dressed up like an extra either from Stargate or the Gods of Egypt movie. But hey, really, really cool. And apparently a cosplayer by the name of Talia XOXO, I believe, because I saw her tweet on Twitter, designed that gun. The gun that, Omega had. The fancy comic book like gun that he had. Apparently she designed that. So it's Talia, that's TALIXOXO. I believe that's how it's pronounced. When I saw that, I was like, oh wow, she designed that? That's really, really cool. And I admit I'm not the biggest fan of Kenny Omega. I'm not saying I don't respect him in the ring. But, I have my own reason. I'll do another video about that some other time. But I will not deny that Omega star rose even more. He is perfect for New Japan. And he shouldn't leave. There's no reason to leave. There are a lot of people who were speculating, he should go to WWE. No. Him, the Young Bucks, a lot of people that are here should stay and make New Japan Pro Wrestling even bigger, even a bigger company than it already is. And that's my personal opinion and my 2 cents really quickly. Start off hot, that Omega crashing and burning through the announce table. It's a good thing he's okay, because that looked really, really bad. Recovered, he threw a monitor at Chris Jericho, threw a chair at Chris Jericho, probably not in that order. Jericho attacked the referee and then attacked the referee's son, who was also there, and all over the place. It was crazy. The English announce team was knocked out for, audio-wise for a while. It was really, really crazy. It was... Jericho got a lot out of Omega. It was a different side of Jericho, a side that we hadn't seen for a while. Omega got a lot out of Jericho. It was, I don't want to say it was student versus teacher. It was wrestler versus wrestler. It was veteran versus upcoming, guy. And it's not that Omega's a rookie or anything. Omega's still young enough to where he's probably got a good, I'd say at least 10 years. At least a good 10 years before anything starts to slow down for him, barring any injuries, and hopefully that doesn't happen. But it was just really, really... I didn't get the antics with the freezing spray, but whatever. It's nothing against anybody. I didn't get it, but it did serve a purpose. Omega bled quite a bit, and there were a lot of unprotected chair shots. A lot of unprotected chair shots. That was a little bit baffling, how many unprotected chair shots there were. There was a whole thing where Jericho did dedicate the match to the memory of Eddie Guerrero and Benoit. Neither here nor there. I'll do another video about that another time. But all the unprotected chair shots weren't necessarily the best thing. And that's just me. And I know it's wrestling. I know you got to do crazy things and everything, stuff like that. But I've had concussions in the past. I've obviously never wrestled, but I've had concussions in the past. Concussions are no goddamn joke. They're no damn joke. And I cringed a lot, especially at some of those ring post spots, or in the corner spots with Omega's head hitting the chair and the chair breaking over Omega's head when Jericho hit him with it. Whatever. Hey, they both obviously signed off on everything, and both went balls to the wall, and they really went balls to the wall. Jericho countered the One Wing Angel actually twice. Well, he countered it once, and then, kicked out of it actually by grabbing the rope, so he didn't kick out of it. But it was a long match, but it certainly lived up to the hype. I wasn't so sure about how it was going to be, but it really, really lived up to the hype. Omega star rose, like I said, he should stay in New Japan. Same with the Young Bucks, same with so many other people there in New Japan. Jericho, if it's a one-off that he's going to have in New Japan, cool. He helped New Japan business even more. And New Japan business was fine. I'm just saying that Jericho being able to do that and being able to give back, as a veteran, that was really, really nice. And it was a really damn good match. It probably will actually end up in my top 10 matches of the year. And yes, I will try to watch more New Japan special events, but due to work schedule and stuff like that, I may not be able to watch as many as I want. But that certainly would be a top 10 match already. I would be very surprised if Omega Alpha versus Omega, Jericho versus Kenny Omega, is not in my top 10 by the end of the year. And then you go to Tetsuya Naito and versus Okada IWGP title match. It was good. It was a really good match. It was you wanted Tetsuya to win. You really, really wanted Naito to win. You wanted him to win. I wanted him to win. Read up a little bit on the story. I'd seen enough matches and everything to know that he had worked his way back up after reinventing his character and everything. But the crowd was on fire for both. And that's great. It was a huge fight feel. The feeling out process at first. Okada has the best drop kick in the business. name somebody else that has a better drop kick than Okada. I mean, I'll wait. I obviously won't wait because I got a show to do, but I'm just saying I'll leave in the comments people that you think have a better drop kick than Okada, or at least equal. I mean, I'd like to hear it. And it's not that anybody's drop kick sucks, but Okada is just amazing with how he hits his drop kick. There was a lot of neck focusing by both men. It was a really good, solid wrestling match with some dirty tactics and stuff like that, but really good, solid wrestling. It was classic IWGP Championship, a classic contest for the title. Neither man wanted to give in. It took 3 Rainmakers, but Naito stayed down. Oh, I wanted Tetsuya to win so bad. I wanted him to win so bad. I really did. I'm not saying this put a damper on the event. It certainly didn't. I mean, my energy is still up, despite the fact I've had almost no sleep for 24 hours. But this was... Would it have been better if Tetsuya won? Yes, but that's not going to change the grade of the event. Okada won. And I don't speak Japanese, but I think that somebody translated it and said that, Okada wants to face Tetsuya again. And if that's the case, perhaps Tetsuya will win the title a little bit down the road. And, maybe later in the year, because Okada's had it, he's had it 500 plus days. I mean, at this point, what's left for him to do? I mean, he could probably end up holding it for, he could probably end up holding it long enough to do a full 2 years as champion, and then that'll be it. But Naito should be the one to take the title off of him. But that was a really good main event. They did the best they could to get the crowd back into it after the crowd expended all their energy from the Alpha Omega match. But I'll say A minus. I'll say A minus. Because some of the matches, in the beginning were a little, the first 2 matches were a little, I'll say A minus, A plus to A minus, or A to A minus. Because it was really a damn near perfect show. I'll say A minus because I wanted Tetsuya to win, but that's not going to affect the grade too much. Everybody gave solid efforts. I hope nobody is seriously injured or even injured much at all. I hope that it's just bumps and bruises and that they're fine, and that's anybody on the card. I don't care who it is. Great from top to bottom. What were some of your favorite moments for Wrestle Kingdom 12? Do you agree? Do you disagree with what I said? Let's be kind. Remember, again, sometimes I screw up the Japanese names, so I'm sorry. Anyway, like, share, comment, subscribe. Twitter link in the description. It's been Real Honesty with Jarwithlin. I'm Jarwithlin. I'm going to go to bed. I'll see you soon.